Hey y'all, welcome to the Miraculous Freedom Podcast. I'm your host Chelsea and I'm so excited you're here. Freedom in Christ is a gift that's ours for the taking, yet in so many areas of life it's easy to feel stuck. We all need reminding of how the gospel frees us to live abundantly in every area of life. So whether you're at home or on the go, I hope you'll stick around for an uplifting conversation that will encourage you to walk in the miraculous freedom that you've been given. Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to the Miraculous Freedom Podcast. I hope you had a very happy Easter and that you enjoyed celebrating our risen Savior. And you're in for a special treat today because I've got two wonderful guests, Mr. Bill and Ms. Crystal McKenzie. They have really impacted my faith walk, and I just can't wait for you to hear all of the good things that the Lord has done through them. So thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate your taking the time to drive over.
No, we're honored. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, absolutely. So I can't wait to get into our questions today, but I did write a little introduction so that people know a little bit about you. Okay. And I put it on paper so I wouldn't forget anything, which I've known you long enough to know most of this, I hope. But you are parents to 2 adult children and grandparents to 7 grandchildren.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. 4 of them live up the hill, as we call it. So right close to you. And then 3, I couldn't remember where they are. Are they
right now they're in Texas.
Texas.
That's
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So our son is in the Army and stationed at Fort Hood, Texas.
Okay. I never can keep up. I always
Well,
think
they move every 2 years. So
okay.
It's understandable.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Right.
You're both very active and involved in all of your grandkids' lives, which is really cool. And I always loved seeing that firsthand whenever I lived on the grounds of the guest house. But Mr. Bill, you serve as an elder at College Hill Presbyterian Church.
That's right.
And Miss Crystal, you're very involved with the women's ministry there. And so you're very active in the local church. And Mr. Bill, you've authored more than 10 books. Did I count them right? Is it 11?
Yes, you did. I think, yes.
Okay, okay. I didn't know if I'd missed one.
12 and 13 about ready to go.
Oh, that's so exciting. Wow. So, as the listeners can hear, y'all lead very busy lives, very fruitful lives. And we're just, again, so thankful that you're here with us. You also, which this is going to be the kind of the focus of our conversation today, you also are on associate staff.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was affiliate or associate, but associate staff with the Navigators, and you run or founded actually the International Guest House, which is a ministry to international students at the University of Mississippi, better known as Ole Miss.
Yes. Good.
So, yes. And then just so that our listeners get to know you a little bit better, I would love for y'all to share how you met.
All right. So interestingly, we went to the same, what amounted for me to be junior high. So I went to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at the same school where Crystal had gone from kindergarten, but our overlap was she was in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. At the same time, I was a 6th, 7th, and 8th. So we were there. We had an overlap for 3 years. It was a public school, but it was small enough and almost functioned like a private school because of the community in which we grew up. It was just the people from that community. So there was only one class per grade. So so it was, but as small as it was, we knew of each other, but did not know each other. So our families had no point of connection. We didn't go to the same churches, and then we didn't go to the same high school afterwards. When we moved to different high schools, so we didn't see each other until we both came back and were involved with the Navigator ministry at the University of Louisville. So after I went to Purdue, Crystal went to University of Kentucky. After graduation, we ended up without us. This is God's doing, of course.
Providence.
But we didn't coordinate that, but we ended up in the same fellowship group with the Navigators.
Okay.
In fact, when Crystal walked into the first meeting, it was, hey, there's Crystal,
So you remembered her.
I remembered her name and knew who she was.
Oh,
and so
sweet.
then over the next 4 years of doing ministry together in a very structured and pretty intense ministry environment, we fell in love, but did not have the freedom to express that. The ministry had a policy of no dating, and
I didn't remember this part.
Submission to biblical authority, which is really biblical and good.
Right.
It was over. Let's see. I would think it would even say it was abused in our situation.
Oh man.
So that there was really strict control over pretty much all of life. We were not damaged by that, but it was certainly it was out of balance, and it took some time after leaving the ministry to experience grace and God's goodness and mercy. But nonetheless, it's going to sound really odd, but we agreed to get married before we'd even dated. Because we had,
I don't remember this either.
But we'd been around.
Right. You knew each other well.
What we were waiting for is for our spiritual leaders to approve.
Oh.
And when I was asked to move to Nashville to prepare to go on staff with the Navigators, my leadership in Nashville was very keen on the relationship. And they said, we need to get Crystal here. And so with that approval, then we got engaged, and Crystal moved to Nashville. We got married, and then we were asked to come to Ole Miss.
Okay. So how long were you in Nashville?
1 year. I was there 2 years. Crystal was there 1 year.
1 year married.
And we then came to Ole Miss as still newlyweds.
Well,
but
you're first and last.
That's right.
Goodness. So you've been in Oxford, is it 40 years?
Since 1982.
Okay.
So
my math's not great.
Yeah, 44 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Been
That's
married
amazing.
45. We'll have been married 45 and.
Oh, that's a big anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, I think that's such a sweet story. And it kind of reminds me a tiny bit of me and Muhammad, just that we knew each other and had no idea we would be marrying that person, and I think it's really neat how God kind of connects people, but then at the right time, you're like, oh, wow, this person is wonderful. And so.
Yeah. Our whole story, the whole story of the International Guest House is one of God's providence.
Wow.
Of Him taking different things, knitting them together, and directing us. Proverbs 19 says that man purposes in his heart, but the Lord directs his steps. And we really can affirm that and attest to that. It's been our situation. Nothing of what we've done has come about because we were smart enough to figure it out or had really great visions on what to do. We were inspired by a great God who showed Himself to be very big and very capable. Nothing is too hard for Him. We believe that, and we have just been trying to follow along. And he's put together the details.
Wow, that's really cool. So just kind of step by step.
That's right.
That's wonderful. Well, we do normally start the podcast with a question about miraculous freedom because that's what the name is. So, can you tell us how you've experienced God's miraculous freedom in your life?
You gave us this question ahead of time, so there are probably a number of things that I could say. One is the freedom to be who God's called me to be.
Oh, that's so
without
good.
trying to follow someone else's calling.
Oh, yeah.
So, in fact, when we came to Oxford, we were trying to be full-time navigator staff, raising support and going that direction, that path. I believe that we're comfortable in saying that was not God's purpose, and that so I have an engineering training background, education, and gifting, actually, so that we ended up working full-time at the university as an engineer. And I think that was by God's design. It was not what we had thought. We were pushing in one direction that we thought was, I don't know, what should we say, the more honorable way to serve God.
Right.
And have come to realize, no, the best way to serve God is to do what He's given us to do and to be who He created us to be.
Oh, wow.
And to experience that freedom has been it's been very liberating and helpful.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, God's so creative, so it's not just a one size fits all or fit in a box. That reminds me of a quote that was on y'all's refrigerator, but I don't remember exactly. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Go find the thing that makes you.
Don't
feel alive.
I don't remember
Essentially, you've almost got it. Don't ask what the Lord. Don't ask what the world needs. Do what. Essentially, what God has put on your heart.
Right.
Yeah.
And go do that. Yeah. I love that. I think that's so good and so true in your life.
I think so.
Yeah. Miss Crystal, do you want to answer that one?
I read a book during a time that I was just struggling, and it was called From Fear to Freedom.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It's an excellent book, and I wish I could remember. They did the Sonship program, and I can't remember. Do you remember the name of the couple?
Sorry.
It's a wonderful couple.
Okay.
Anyway, they have a whole series on sonship. But that book really helped me to free me from just pretense of being someone that I
That's really good.
was not.
Wow.
Navigator's staff has there's just a really high profile, and I always felt like, am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and comparing myself? But just also in the South too, just a lot of pretense of just keeping up with the neighbors and everything that goes with living in a culture that values things that aren't always what we value.
Right.
So that book really helped me. She talked about her struggles. She was a pastor's wife.
Oh, okay.
And talked about her struggles, and just being able to be freed from things that hold us down.
Right.
Sometimes.
Wow. That's so good.
Yeah, it's a great book.
I'll definitely look that up and put it in the notes, but I would like to read it for myself probably. But
It's a good one.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I've recently kind of struggled with a similar thing, because in Memphis, it was just, I don't know, it was so different living in a city and then coming back to a small town where, things are expected to be a certain way and all of that. So I've kind of had to push back against that as well. So I know what you're talking about.
I was just sharing with my son-in-law today a verse that's been pretty significant for us. But from 1 Corinthians 4, Paul is saying that he doesn't even presume to judge himself. He's received a ministry. He's seeking to be faithful in it. But what other people think, and even what he thinks of himself, is not important. It's what God thinks.
Oh, wow.
And that's what matters. And,
man.
And we obviously know that what he thinks of us is really high because of who he's made us in Christ. But that's really helpful to be freed from having to worry about other people's opinions.
Right. Even your own.
Even your own. Yeah.
That's something I don't think about really. So, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. Well, good. Those were great answers. Thank y'all. So Muhammad and I actually get to talk about the guest house quite a lot, believe it or not, because everybody wants to hear how we met.
Okay, for sure.
And so I sometimes have a hard time putting it into words. Like, what is the guest house? People want to know. And so I'd love for y'all to describe what the guest house is. I feel like it's so multifaceted, and I've had so many wonderful experiences there that it's really hard for me to, whittle down into a good answer. So how would y'all describe the guest house and your ministry there?
Home away from home.
That's the slogan.
That's certainly a slogan that goes with it. A home away from home. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm writing. I pretty well finished the first draft of Home Away from Home, the story of the International Guest House, that tells how God stitched together in His providence all the things that led up to who we are and what we've done, or what He's done, and who the guest house is.
Oh, I can't wait to read that one.
Yeah, but I hope it's an encouragement to many.
I'm sure.
But yeah, it's that is part of it. I think our desire is that it would be a community of Christ followers who are living in such a way that the aroma of Christ is obvious to those who come into the home. So there's a home environment where students are exposed either by just coming for a meal or for an activity. They notice there's something different here than and we certainly want to be honest and bold in proclaiming that it is Christ who's made us who we are and that we do what we do because of Him. But then to have a housing arrangement where students are living in an apartment, environment, but it's a more of a home environment, and we've got Christ followers who are living intentionally with students from other countries, other cultures, to have those conversations, to have the meals where they're just sharing life together, but are able to verbalize their faith and then have conversations and discussions about who Christ is.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great explanation, I think. And it really does provide so many opportunities just for organic conversations to happen.
That's a good word. I think so.
Yeah, which I think is so rare, honestly, because, so many times which nothing's wrong with this, but you go to an event at a church or somewhere and, it's usually like bright lighting and, you're there for an hour and then you leave. And sometimes the questions can feel almost forced or, but whenever you're in your own house or, in a welcoming environment, right, your guard is down and things just happen more naturally. And so I think that's something really unique. And I can't remember the exact number, but I've read a book about community, and it's like you have to get X number of hours with somebody before they will actually like be themselves. And so I think that's a wonderful way to make that happen is, you're doing life, like real life. Alongside
I think we would like to be as authentic as we can in living life, not just a religious life or not just certain activities, but actually living life. So it's cleaning up and, we've got horses and we've got this beautiful woods area and lake. And so there's a lot of fun things to do that we enjoy doing, and our students enjoy doing them too. But it's, rather than it being particularly activity-based, we'd like it to be life on life, just sharing life together.
Yes.
And doing things, common things, but in a way that hopefully it's Spirit-led and honoring Christ.
Yes. Well, I think y'all have done a wonderful job of that.
And I really got to tell you that it's remarkable that you could say that, because I'm an engineer and I'm the kind of person who's really content to sit all by myself and work alone on math problems or engineering problems or building something. The fact that God has given us the privilege of sharing life with so many different people is a remarkable gift, and it's really from Him.
Well, it was years into knowing you that I knew that about you. I was meeting with Miss Crystal. We would meet one-on-one sometimes, and you mentioned something about, I think we were talking about personalities, and you mentioned that both of you were kind of more introverted. And I was like, what? He's always with people. I didn't know that. So it is amazing that, you've been able to minister to so many and just form those solid relationships.
Let me just point this out if I can. You've got a question coming up a little bit later. What would I recommend for people who want to be involved with international students?
Go for it.
But this seems like a good place to put that.
Sure.
And I think it is. Do the things that God gives you that you enjoy doing. Just bring somebody else in and include them.
Wow, so, that's great advice.
If you like quilting, bring an international student in and teach them how to quilt. It's that simple. It's just do life together with someone.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be complicated, like you said. You can already be doing it and just ask them to come.
Yeah, so I love camping. I do better. I don't drink coffee, so I'm not real good at sitting in a coffee shop and meeting with people. I need activity. I need to be doing something. So taking camping trips and bus trips has been a really good way for me to relate and relax and have interaction with students. So that's been what I do, but that's not what everybody needs to do.
Right. There's multiple ways.
There are a lot of other opportunities.
Yes. Well, on that same note, do you have any other like do's and don'ts with international students? I mean, there's a lot depending on, I guess, which nationalities you're working with and everything.
I think one of the do's is we've used the word authentic, but be genuine, so that the relationship is not a means to an end. I mean, it's not.
That's really good. Yeah.
I'm only being friends with you because I want you to go into a Bible study with me. I think we need to get to where we are loving because Christ is love, and we're loving because He's made us that way. We certainly want people, hoping
Right.
that people are going to want to learn more and study the Bible more, but that can't be a condition upon our love. So I think it's
Right.
being willing to love well without being conditional.
Kind of no strings attached.
There you go.
Sorta, yeah.
In just having them in your home and having them tell you about their culture, I think.
Yes.
I like to learn about
Right.
their cultures, and I think that shows an interest in them, and they like
Right.
to talk about their country.
Yes,
where
of
they came
course.
from, and-
Because people may not be asking, in their classes and things like that.
So that's always, a good, we're always sharing about our country and what we do, and they're involved in
Right.
a lot of our Thanksgivings and that are unique for us. But it's always good to hear, some of the things that they do, and
Right.
so we've enjoyed that too. Just
Yes, just learning.
welcoming them, right? Learning from them, welcoming them in your home, and not to be afraid to invite them, into your home because they're different.
Right. That's really good. And there was some, I'm terrible with statistics, but there was some stat that I think Tom Williams told us about this number of international students never get invited.
to an American
Do y'all
home.
remember? I mean, it was a lot, like 75%.
Yeah,
maybe,
something
or-
like that.
Yeah.
Probably at least that high.
Yeah. So,
An
I
American
mean,
home.
that's just kind of wild to think about. Like, you've lived in a country for maybe 4 years, or if you've done a PhD, it could be longer, and you never got invited to somebody's house. Like, that's a little bit heartbreaking, honestly. So, yeah.
One other thing, if we can just add to that,
Sure.
and that it's the idea of being authentic, but being honest. Don't do a bait and switch type of thing.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah. So it's not, I'm inviting people to my home for a meal, and I haven't told them ahead of time that we're going to have a message on, that we kind of getting them in without being honest about it.
Right.
I think it's important that you're upfront about who you are and why you do what you do, and not trying to. Paul uses it in 2 Corinthians 4. We don't use underhanded methods of presenting the gospel.
Wow.
For what we preach is not ourselves, but Christ is Lord, with ourselves as your servants for Jesus' sake. But it's upfront, so it's clear what we're doing. If we've invited
Right.
them for a meeting that's going to have a message, they need to know that.
Right. They definitely do.
Yeah.
Would you say if you invite a student over to your house for supper and you know that they're not a Christian, maybe they don't have a religion or they're another religion, is it okay to ask the blessing in front of them? What do you say?
Yeah, that's part of our culture. It's part of our tradition, certainly.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of questions
Yes.
people might have if they've never done this.
All right, so one of the no things is you don't serve pork to a Muslim.
Okay.
But I mean, that's
Right.
pretty obvious. But it's
Well, it may not
obvious.
be to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, most students are far more open to conversations about what they believe and what we believe than we think they are. I think we have we're more hung up on that than they are. So
Okay.
I would not. I think it's okay to ask. What was worship like for you? What does it look like? And we're not jumping all over them because it's wrong, but just
Right.
I mean, sharing. Yeah, even sharing your own story of what Christ has done is a good thing.
Right. It definitely is. Well, that's great advice. And I remember, I don't know who exactly told us, but somebody from the Navigators told us to kind of preface a relationship, or you can preface a relationship. If you've never met somebody from this country before, just tell them, like, you're my first friend from blank. I might offend you. Please let me know when,
that's so good. Yeah,
when
that's
I
right.
do, because I want to know. And, I don't mean to, but it's probably going to happen. And that kind of breaks the ice. And I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me, that was really offensive, but.
Can I tell you a fun story? So
Oh, of course.
When we were building the barn at the guest house, we had a young man from India, Raj Gadapudi. I think you know where the story's going. So Raj had come out to help me work on a Saturday. It got to be lunchtime, and I told him, it's lunchtime. Do you want to come and join me for lunch? And he said no. I said, well, okay. I'll be back. So I went in and ate my lunch and came back. Raj had to go home and ask his other Indian friend who'd been in the culture a little bit longer what just happened. Because
why did he leave me out there?
Yeah, in his culture, if somebody asks you in for a meal, you say no. They insist, no, I insist, no, please, I insist. And on the third time, then you can say yes.
Then you accept.
I skipped the whole thing. I asked him. He said no. I said okay.
You took him at his word.
And he didn't get lunch that day. So I later found out about it, not the next week, but I did find out from Raj what had taken place. And so now when I'm with Indians or people from that culture, I tell them, look, I'm going to ask you one time.
Just tell them up front.
I'm going to tell you, if you're going to have to ask, you're going to have to answer now.
Oh, goodness. That's really good advice, though, because, a lot of people listening don't know that.
Well, yeah, we would not have known. And so there are other cultural things. And so obviously he was not offended. He was just puzzled.
Very confused.
And neither one of us knew the difference.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Yeah, I love that story.
Yeah,
it's a funny one.
We've learned a lot of things just over the years through relating.
Right. Yes. Live and learn. So you mentioned a barn and you mentioned horses. What else do y'all have on the grounds out there?
All right. So the physical buildings are, we started with what we call a cottage, and we lived there as a family while we built a barn to house horses and furniture and have a workshop. We had a hayloft in it that it was intended to be a hayloft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, originally.
Originally.
By the time you got there, it had been
wow, a full-fledged
renovated.
Wow.
Several generations of renovations, but we made it into an apartment to have places. But we had originally thought that we'd have a couple cottages for students to live in.
Okay.
We have the big house, which became our home and our family's home, and we had students live periodically with us, but not on a regular basis. Somebody, I think, wisely had recommended when we were getting started, if you're going to do this long term, you probably don't need to have people living with you full time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that can just drain life. So having separate housing but living close enough that we share, and so the students, we didn't feed them, but once a week or something like that, or every couple of weeks. And so in the apartments, they have their own kitchens and they feed themselves. So now, so we've got the cottage, we've got the big house, which is the ministry center, and then we've got a new barn apartment that has 12 houses, 12 students, 4 3-bedroom apartments, and the students live there. We've got a ministry couple and their family living in the cottage. We've got another couple and their family living in the big house. And they've had 2 students living with them. The third floor is a separate apartment with its own kitchen, and so we've had students live there.
Oh, great! Oh, that's good. Okay, how?
Lake.
Yeah, lake.
Oh, yeah, the lake.
Lake
yes.
with a
A lot of
yes.
around the lake.
Yes.
with a boathouse and paddle boats and canoes and rafts and
yeah, it's a
like
lot of
that.
fun.
It is.
It's so much fun. How many students do you think you've welcomed through your doors over your time at the guest house? I mean, it would be hard to estimate.
I saw that question last night, and I don't know. We're not. So because of the nature of our ministry, we're not ministering to thousands. Or we're not ministering to hundreds at a time. It's we really are thankful that we can minister to a few, and a little more with more depth and more involvement. But when we have large group events, there'll be 50, 60 students come out, and if we've been doing that for 40 years over the years, I don't know what that is.
I figured it was thousands, right?
But who come through. Maybe they've come through and enjoyed it. Yeah, but so a couple thousands maybe who've been on the property. And I would say, I think generally that we have a good reputation in the international community because of the hospitality and because, I think because of the authenticity, and they don't feel like they're being tricked or being...
Right. You're not pushy at all.
Yeah. And we've wondered at times, should we be more forceful or more direct?
Right.
And there are people who are, and God uses them and blesses them, and that is a good way to be. this is, I think, who He's made us to be, and we're
Right.
again maybe having the freedom to be who He gave us to be, rather than trying to
Yes.
imitate somebody else. Who in my book, in the book on the on God's bringing us together through the guest house, on the story, I mentioned that I met when I was a young guy in college. I met two men. One of them was very not aggressive. He was just loud and joyful, and much of an extrovert, and he was just different than who I was. And I thought, that's, I want to be like him, because those were all the things I was not. And he had a partner that worked with him. They were building cabins in a ranch that I worked at. And so one was Johnny Wonder Jim, and the other was John Barber. Johnny Wonder Jim was the loud, and he did.
It sounds
Wonder
fun.
Jim, it sounded wonderful, and he would greet everybody. Hey, Bill, how you doing? And wow, that's what it looks like to be a real Christian, And
wow.
John Barber was quiet and soft spoken, and just as godly, but just a different personality. And I finally learned, I'm really a John Barber and not a Johnny Wonder Jim.
Yeah,
and I don't need to be a Johnny Wonder Jim. That's good.
Yeah, you don't have to force yourself into somebody else's personality.
So we're thankful for the Johnny Wonder Jims, and we benefit from them. We learn from them. I need more boldness and more charisma, but that's not who I am.
Right, and that's okay. Yes. So what would you say your ministry model is? Or would you say you have a ministry model? I mean, I think you do, but.
All right. So what I was describing was Lost Valley Ranch. It's a guest ranch in Colorado. I worked there the 3 summers that I was in college.
Okay.
And the philosophy of ministry there has been something that greatly influenced, but it was a ministry of hospitality.
Okay.
They hired Christian young people to live and serve families who came out for a week vacation. It was a guest ranch. People didn't. Okay. It wasn't a conference center. They didn't have messages. It was, let's live in such a way that people start asking questions.
Wow.
And conduct yourselves wisely toward outsiders, making the most of the time. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer everyone. That was be one of the theme verses or motto verses, and
I was wondering.
I think that's that clearly influenced our philosophy of ministry. I think that's, let's have a ministry of hospitality and being prepared to make a defense to those who call us to account. Even proclaiming Christ, that He's the who we are. Study the Bible with us. We'd love for you to learn more. But we'll start off with let's serve people with hospitality.
Okay. That made me think of another question. Do you think there's a difference between hospitality and hosting?
Wow. Yeah, I think with hospitality, you really want to have the genuine, atmosphere that you want them there, and you want to get to know them. Whereas sometimes if you're just the host, you're just busy directing and maybe not really giving the attention that.
Okay.
But hospitality is more of a relational.
Okay.
Than being than hosting something. I mean,
that's a great answer. It has an emotional component, I guess, that hosting may not have. Yeah. So that's really good. Yeah.
We have hosted.
You have.
Particularly, the more students you have, the more you play host. And in fact, we've gotten to where we prefer smaller groups just for that reason. But we have hosted large groups, and people are thankful for it, and they benefit.
Hosting, you're worried about getting things organized and everybody needs met, everybody where they're supposed to be at the right time.
Right.
Especially if you're hosting an event, and
yes,
so you're more the organization of it all.
Okay, it kind of reminds me of the
schedule and keeping it, keeping things moving.
Right.
Whereas hospitality, it's more relaxed.
Right. Which is important. I mean, if you're hosting an event, you do have to have all the details.
Sure.
Which that's not my strength, but
Gotta have all the details,
yeah.
and it's-
So not to say it's bad, but
Yeah.
hospitality takes it a step further, I guess. Okay. So in my last podcast episode, I actually did one by myself on life discipleship. So I was wondering what role discipleship plays at the guest house.
Yeah, that's good, and we still are, we're wrestling with that ourselves. So, from what we just described, or what we've talked about, a lot of that is what I guess you would classify as pre-evangelism or
Okay.
relational evangelism.
Right.
We have, and we're thankful for it. We have had students come to faith. By nature of the ministry, oftentimes that's toward the end of their stay with us, and we need to try to connect them and pass them on to someone else because they've been there for 3 or 4 years, and now they're graduating, and they're just now ready for discipleship. But on the other hand, we have had internationals and Americans who've lived with us who are already followers of Christ, and we do get a chance to invest into their lives. And so that is part of our vision. In fact, we are beginning to implement a training program or training
Are y'all?
concept called ergates, which is the Greek word for laborer or worker.
Oh, wow.
And so the hope
Can
is,
we come?
the hope, well, you certainly could. We would love to have you.
Thanks.
Is that we could help equip people for a lifetime of serving, of ministering, with a focus on international students, but learning how to find our identity in Christ, learning how to be able to present the Bible in ways which contextually relevant to other people, learning the cultural differences, learning some of the questions that you asked about. Are there things which we ought to know about someone from a Muslim or Buddhist background that would be helpful in sharing the gospel? So these type of things we're building into a 2-year curriculum of 6 modules, and
Wow.
we would like to be able to even recruit people to come to Ole Miss to be a part of this.
Oh.
One of the not distinctives, but perhaps it's distinctive of who we are at the International Guest House is everybody who works there, lives there, ministers there, is employed in the community. So we are associated with the Navigators, but our income comes from working in layman jobs.
Right.
And we think that's a good option for many people. We would like for them to have. We would like for someone even in college who's sensing a desire to serve Christ, to be a part of building this kingdom, to have another option besides going to seminary or going on staff and raising support, that they could come and learn how to do ministry with a job. So they're learning on the job training, but with an understanding that this is a lifetime and a lifestyle of being able to minister. Certainly the other options, a seminary or going intern with another organization, those are good, and they provide a lot of good input. We think there needs to be another option, and that's what this is.
Oh, that's really cool. So will that start in the fall, you think,
we've already
or?
started this fall with a few people.
That's wonderful.
And so we're getting the curriculum in place and getting it tried out. So it'll go through the summer and next year, and then we'll be ready to start another cycle. But anybody can join anytime during the cycle. It's not where you got to start at the beginning of the 2 years.
Gotcha. Wow, that is really cool. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and I think I've kind of shared this with y'all. Before I went overseas, I had really more of an evangelistic heart. And when I was overseas, I actually learned a little tiny bit about discipleship. And then at my time at the guest house, I finally saw this was God's plan the whole time. It's multiplication. And so I really have a soft spot in my heart for discipleship now because of your ministry. So I'm really grateful that y'all have invested so much in that, because that is how the gospel spreads. It's not just through evangelism, it's discipleship as well.
Good.
So.
Well, we're thankful for that the Lord brought you into our lives.
Oh, thanks.
Am I correct that you first heard about the guest house at an airport?
Yes.
With a lady who knew us, met you,
Right.
and said, "Hey, you ought to."
That's right. And if that's not God's sovereignty,
Yeah, no,
I don't know what is.
That's another example of God just being
Yes.
a blessing and being much bigger than all we
Right.
could ask or think.
Right. Because I wasn't even supposed to go through that airport. Somebody from the organization I was with,
I didn't hear that part of it.
they actually forgot to buy me a ticket. So everybody else flew through LAX from Hong Kong to LAX, and then they realized that they didn't have a ticket for me because I had like stayed longer or something. It was a summer program, and I'd been there the whole year, and so they just got stuff for the summer people, and they forgot to get my ticket, and so they routed me through Dallas, and I just happened to sit down by Miss Connie, and she overheard me talking to my sister on the phone. I didn't have any quarters and I was really thirsty. And so I was telling her, like, my sister, can you please have a bottle of water for me when I land in Memphis? And so Miss Connie just struck up a conversation like, where are you coming from? And I just told her, I said, I'm coming from overseas and I'm moving to a really small town in Mississippi. And I don't know if there are any international students there. So she was like, I know just who you need to meet. So
that's so wonderful.
Very thankful that God, crossed our paths that way.
Yes.
So yes. Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to kind of address couples who might be listening, or, maybe a wife is listening and she wants to talk to her husband about this. I've heard you kind of say that your gifts are complementary, like you build things and you make things beautiful, for example. So how did you know that when you set out to do ministry? Did you learn it over time? How can couples kind of find their rhythm or niche in ministry together?
I don't think we knew that.
Okay. Trial and error.
Yeah. And that is true. Bill loves to build, and I love to decorate and make
Yes.
things look like a home, feel like a home.
And you're so good at it.
And be,
Yes.
welcoming.
Yes.
Is what I enjoy and still love to this day. I like, that's how I show my creativity and just
Wow.
doing things in the home and enjoying that. And Bill loves to build. So it took us a while to appreciate each other's different
Okay.
different way we do our creativity, but I think we've gotten it. We've learned a lot.
Right,
And
sure.
when you say it took a while, it was harder on Crystal because I'm building the guest house and I'm doing what I enjoy doing, what I feel blessed in doing, what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. And Crystal's frustrated because she doesn't have the opportunity to do what is on her heart to do. And
I see.
she's living in a so maybe we ought to just explain that when we started on the big house, which is the main ministry center, we lived in it unfinished. We were still constructing and living and finishing
Right.
finishing rooms
That
one at a time.
sounds hard.
So that was really stressful and hard for her. And I was
Little children, too.
Oh,
was-
yeah. Were they young then?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Babies, but yeah. They
Okay.
They were still small.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, so and I was less than sensitive to her needs, and so it has taken a while to recognize. And there were frustrations. I'm an idea guy, a visionary. Crystal's practical. She wants to know the details, and I don't worry about details. That don't bother me with that. Let's just go forge
Right.
ahead. So those complementary gifting and personalities have been conflicting along the way as we've learned that this is by God's design, and a lot of it has been me having to learn to appreciate someone different than myself and say that that's not wrong. It's by God's design.
I think that's a big statement for me. Being different, it's not wrong. Difference is
Right.
not wrong. It's just different.
Just different,
Someone's
yeah.
just different, and it's not wrong.
Yeah.
But being able to have your differences complement each other is the key.
That's the key,
and being
okay.
able to strive for that.
Yes. Yeah. And just, I guess learning to respect each other's differences and personalities or preferences. And yeah. Wow. Okay. So it takes some time is what I'm hearing. Well,
Yeah, you can shorten that time by knowing it ahead of time and being ready for it, and actually seeing that by God's design. But, yeah.
So if there's a couple listening and, they don't really, I guess they don't have the vision to go build a house to have people come live with them.
Yeah, certainly that is not all that, that's not the only way to do international student ministry.
Yeah. What would be a good first step, you would say?
I would say invite somebody into your home for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
For Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay. That's very doable.
Yeah.
Just set an extra plate.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so now you got to, but how do you meet the person to invite?
Right.
And there are, at every university's got an international programs office.
Okay.
And they have programs already set up for connecting American families with internationals who are looking for that type of opportunity.
Okay.
So you can contact the international program office at your school and say, we would love to host, and maybe make it rather than just one, because that's a little awkward for them too. Mm-hmm. Make it 3 or so and we would like to host 3 international students for Thanksgiving. Can you help connect us?
Wow. And they'd be glad to,
and they'd
I'm
be
sure.
glad to help you.
Yeah. Okay, that's great advice. If there's not a university nearby,
then
might
you're
be kinda
probably
hard
talking
to-
about immigrants rather than
Right.
So
Yes.
just
Sorry.
distinguishing between an immigrant and an international student. An international student's here on a student visa. They can only stay as long as they're in school. They have a little bit of time afterwards on a practical training visa, and then they have to go home. An immigrant is trying to stay here permanently.
right.
I would say probably most of the international students we know, even if they hadn't intentionally thought of staying here when they first came, by the time they're through with school, they're thinking they'd like to stay longer.
Right.
But an immigrant is already in the community working. So now you're talking about meeting somebody who works at the gas station or something,
Right.
And he's from Pakistan, and you just at the gas station you stay. Where's our Uber drivers? I've been riding Uber every 2 weeks.
Oh.
I've only had, out of the last 6 months of riding Uber every 2 weeks from the airport, I've only had 2 Americans.
Really?
Everybody else has been an international driver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from Africa, from Pakistan, from India, from
Oh,
Cuba.
Wow, just all over.
They are. So.
People that do your nails.
Oh, yeah. If you go to the same place.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's, so many, it's international. It's pretty much international.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. Yeah. So you just kind of have to, I'm really asking for myself, honestly. Yeah. You have to be bold and just ask this person that maybe you've come into contact with a few times, like, would you like to come over and get to know my family?
Yeah. And, you're going to have to preface this. Please don't think this is weird. I really would like to enlarge my world a little bit. Or I've been overseas. I've got friends that I've met from other countries, and I enjoy that. I would like my family to be more than just the close families that we have.
Right.
Would you be interested?
Yeah. That sounds good. It's a good way to ask. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think, maybe at people's churches, there might be some sort of international ministry.
Yeah. So that is also probably the most often used way of ministering to students and immigrants is using your church as to start an English language program where you're teaching English as a second language, and you do it possibly with a meal once a week at your church, or sometimes it's churches are doing it during the day, and you're actually getting wives of coming in,
professors or
and
students.
and then you do social activities, and so that's probably even the best way to do it is gather a few ladies together in your church,
right?
Start an English class, advertise it either at the campus or at the gas station, wherever it is that
a high traffic area,
and open up your church home. And love on them.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you do social activities and experience holidays and that sort of thing together.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice. Y'all are giving me good ideas, honestly. Okay. We might have already covered this. I guess you kind of got the idea for the guest house from Lake Forest Ranch is what you said. But I guess my question really is, did you ever envision how big it would be? Like when you were in the cottage, did you have plans to build the big house and plans to build the barn? And
yeah, we had drawn up, right? I had drawn up a large ministry home, 2 cottages. We didn't have the lake. We didn't envision that.
Oh.
But yeah, that was the idea. Is let's have
so you had a vision.
And right, yes. We did have a vision for multiple housing.
Okay. And then did you ever feel like you would be here as long as you've been here, or did you think you might move to another assignment, if that's what they call it?
Yeah, so when we first came to Ole Miss, we thought it was going to be for 4 years, and then we'd be going overseas.
Okay.
After 4 years, we did go overseas for a short-term trip to Malaysia. We took the family. Ashley was, I think she was 4. Will was 1.5 years.
Oh.
We spent the summer in Malaysia ministering with in a church. One of our students had invited us to come and minister to their church, and it was a really wonderful summer as far as getting exposure and experience, and I think they appreciated who we were and what we did. But at the end of the summer, it was pretty clear that God had raised up a place for us in Oxford that was a better fit for us, and that we really would be more effective staying home and working with the ministry that God had raised up with international students. And at that time, then it was we're here for
the long haul.
For the long haul.
Oh, wow, that is really cool. So I'm sure you've had some rough times over the years. What have been some encouraging things to get you through rough patches, and what have been? Yeah, I guess we can start with that.
There was a couple with the navigators who were responsible for us early on, who were very kind, very understanding, shepherded us well. I think they ministered to us. Again, those early years when we were living in a construction zone were really hard on Crystal.
Right.
I was not nearly as considerate of the need there as I should have been. Other people came along and helped, and I think they were supportive, particularly helping Crystal continue to live with me. So that I think so. Do you think of
that just having another person, not necessarily a mentor, but that if you do have someone that'd be great. It just a discipleship relationship with someone that you can share life with and talk things through. And certainly just your own personal growth, your time in the Word, and getting growing in strength.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking, because people might feel burnt out at certain times, or like they want to give up, from doing what God has put in front of them. So those are really good answers: community, and then your personal time with the Lord. Yeah.
And you're right. We know of people who do get burned out. Some of it, I think, is recognizing living within the gifting that God has given us, not taking on responsibility that's only God's to do. I mean, that being faithful in what He's given us to do, looking to Him to be the one who's actually multiplying and multiplying the loaves and fishes, and that's. So here's an interesting insight. It was given to us just recently by our son-in-law's mother. she just spoke to me on something, and I enlarged on it, but it was really helpful. So when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, he certainly could have done the whole thing all by himself. He didn't have to have someone move the stone out of the way. I mean, he could, but he did. He gets a couple of his disciples to go move the stone. And my thought is that, okay, he has the power, the life-giving Spirit, all of that is from Christ. That is not what we do.
Right.
If we could just keep the perspective as all he's asked me to do is move the stone.
Oh, that's really good.
You know, that's my job.
Yeah.
Just move the stone. He's the one who gives the life. He's the one who calls forth the dead. And that's what he does.
Oh, I love that.
That maybe keeps it from becoming overwhelming. Right.
Yeah. Just let him do what only he can do.
All he can do. All he wants is someone to. So that is his job. That's what he does. He has included us so that we could have the joy of being a part of that life-giving work. But that's not what we do. We just move the stones.
Yeah. That's so good, because when you have invested so much time with someone, you really, love them and you become attached to them and you want the best for them.
Sure.
And, in our perspective, the best is a relationship with Jesus. And so it can get kind of, I don't know the right word, but you can have an imbalance of like what's mine to control and what's God's very easily, because you just want it to happen so badly. So that's really good advice for anybody listening that is struggling with that.
Yeah, and still to keep our identity in Christ, not in the ministry.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Jesus sent out seems like it was the 70. He sent them out and gave them authority to cast out demons and to heal and raise and heal the sick. And they come back and they were so excited. And he said, yeah, that's good. But nevertheless, do not rejoice in this. The spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven.
Wow.
So it's kind of him warning them even then. Okay, yeah, ministry's exciting. It can be thrilling to see God at work.
Right.
But your real joy is who you are in Christ.
Wow. Yeah, and that's something that's stable too.
That's right.
Because ministry can go up and down sometimes.
Yeah.
So that brings me to another question. I feel like our society is so focused on numbers these days, especially with social media and maybe more so younger generations. But how can we just, I guess, aspire to live lives that are faithful and not so focused on the numbers? How can we aspire to live quiet lives as we're instructed to?
Yeah, just recognizing what is eternal and how does God measure worth and value.
That's good.
Yeah, the numbers thing is a worldly value system that doesn't come from the kingdom of God. So just returning back to setting our minds on things that are above, not on things on earth, and being able to recognize earthly values that creep into our church, into our ministry, into our way of doing life, and being able to renounce those and say no. We're gonna, it's the least is the greatest. That sort of thing.
Right. It's an upside down kingdom.
It is, and getting a hold of that to where we really embrace that and let Christ convince us that this is what's best.
Wow, that's good. Right. Yeah. Because
temporary.
Yeah, I'm really thinking of social media like it's all going to disappear one day, and it's not even real. I hate to say, but it's not. So you're exactly right. Yeah. Well, on a lighter note, what have been some of your greatest joys with the ministry?
The teas that we have.
Oh, I love those so much. Will you tell us a little bit about them?
The high teas that we started doing, and most of the internationals love to drink tea.
Oh, yes.
It's always been a fun event of inviting women, and they all love coming, and we
getting dressed up.
Yeah, dress up, and we make pastry and little finger sandwiches, and have several different kinds of teas, and use the china and the silver.
Yes.
And we had a large dining room at the guest house, and so we could host the teas there, and they seemed to really enjoy those. So that was always fun for me and the girls, and just that we did with just the girls. So
right,
it was a special event for them.
Yes, they're so special.
The teas, yeah.
And yeah, you did such a great job of, making everybody feel welcome. And like, this is a treat and it's really special. So I always looked forward to those.
And they love to share. That was another time at the teas that we would share about their country and just talk. And so the teas really gave that, opened up that opportunity.
Right. Yeah. I liked that was more of an intimate setting and you could.
That was just a small group.
Right.
Yeah. A large group,
yeah.
But,
so you could have those intentional conversations and What about you, Mr. Bill?
Yeah. So, the Lord's given me a particular joy of children.
Oh.
So I would say that Camp McKenzie has been one of my greater times of joy.
And we haven't even mentioned that yet. Right. Okay, tell us about that.
So it started off 20 or so years ago with we were beginning to minister to graduate students who had families or even faculty members who had families. And one thought was, well, if we did something that brought in the children, then the parents would want to participate also. So the idea was, let's have a day camp where we have children from our church and children from the international community come out, and we would do. What it's become is horseback riding, swimming in the lake, playing in the rope swings and the zip lines in the woods, and doing a Bible lesson, doing crafts, having singing.
Wow.
So the typical camp things,
right?
But it's just from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 5 days during the summer. But it's been a joy of seeing the children and just getting out in the woods and having a great time, and
some of the internationals have never been to a camp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
that's
I
a
hadn't
pretty
thought
new
about
experience.
That. Right.
On a horse or...
Right. Oh.
Yeah, so seeing children enjoying new things, but then also seeing children who've been to camp get old enough that they can come back and be a camp helper or camp counselor.
Oh, that's cool.
And seeing them do such a beautiful job of serving the little kids, that does bring me a lot of joy.
Oh, yeah. It's like a full circle moment.
It is.
Oh, well, I was at an event last week and I overheard two moms talking about their summer plans, and they mentioned Camp McKenzie, and I was like, I know the people who run that. Yes, it's wonderful. But yeah, they were singing its praises. So it's beloved in the community as well.
Yeah. It's gotten around.
Right. Yeah. How many kids do you have usually?
More than what we have.
Well, yes.
Oh, goodness.
So we've, in many ways, we're trying to pass on our work at the International Guest House to a little younger generation, and the Lord has brought in people to do that. So our church is trying to take over, not take over, that sounds like assume the responsibilities of doing the International Guest House Camp McKenzie.
Wow.
Yeah,
because it serves as the Bible school.
Okay,
right.
like VBS.
Yeah.
Okay.
so their advertising and marketing is better than ours, and
Oh.
so
I
last
see.
summer we had 100 or so,
Oh, wow.
which was more than I would have thought we should have.
Okay.
They did a great job. They handled it really well. So my gift is not organization or structure. It's let's just go have fun. Kids, here are the woods. Let's go play. And that worked well when we were smaller. You do need more structure and organization as you get bigger. But they've handled 100. I think they're going to expect 100 this year.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, that is a big blessing for people. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad that that's continuing and going strong. Sounds like. Good deal. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything that you wanted to add about the guest house, or anything that I might have forgotten to ask that you wanted to share?
It's been a wonderful opportunity that God's given us.
Oh.
All these years, and the faithfulness of the people who have helped support it. It's just amazing to see how God has been so faithful.
Right.
We have a logbook, I guess you'd say, of everybody's donation gift, and just look through the years of all the people that have given and helped. It's just a blessing to see how God has provided and given us the opportunity to
Wow.
to do what he called us to do.
Right.
To be a blessing for the people in the community there.
Yes. Oh, man.
Yeah, and just his wonderful faithfulness to continue to provide and
Right.
in ways that right when we need them.
Oh, wow.
A special gift would come in. Just
that's
things
really
like that.
cool.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's what I kept thinking about when I was preparing for this, was just God's faithfulness. I mean, it's really
Amen.
cool that you can kind of look back now and see, maybe you didn't know how things were going to go at the beginning, but you've seen God be faithful. So it's really amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Amen.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the last question that I like to ask is, even though freedom in Christ doesn't mean doing whatever we want, if you had a free day to do whatever you wanted, what would you do?
I just really enjoy going antiquing.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And just the decorating. I really do enjoy that. And also just reading.
Okay.
I really have enjoyed reading.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Are you reading
But
anything
just-
right now?
I'm reading. It's not a novel. I'm reading some books.
that's
They are
okay.
gates.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's just good. I just finished reading a novel, Mrs. Bunkle's book.
Okay.
Which was fun. But
I haven't heard of that one.
But
Oh.
I've been doing some reading with the Agates, which has been good.
Oh,
So
that's
been very
great.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But yeah,
deal.
I do enjoy just reading, and that's kind of what I'd like to do.
Yeah, that's usually my answer too. So I just want to read and drink coffee. What about you, Mr. Bill?
Well, I enjoy reading along with writing, but we both enjoy gardening. Not so
yeah.
much vegetable gardening, but flower
Flowers.
gardening, and I've got a little greenhouse, and I'm trying to propagate plants, and I enjoy seeing new life come out of one of my babies that
Wow.
we got the root, and so that's special and fun.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow. Well, I can't thank y'all enough for doing this. Thank you so, so much for just sharing your stories and just for giving us such good, godly, sound advice. So we really appreciate it and just very thankful for your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.